How do people react to you being child free? I moved back into my parents' house last month because my husband wants kids and I do not. Long story short, the closer I got to the time we decided to try for them, the more I realized I would be ruining my life if I went through with it. Especially since he decided I had to quit my hobby to take care of him and his children full time on top of working full time. It sucks to put those 5 years down the drain, but I'm happy with my decision to stay child free. My parents are fully supportive of my choice, and they have 12 grandkids, so they are all set with more. My ex's mom and dad are right off the boat Portuguese, so they just can't comprehend my stance at all. After a month of being back home, she called me, and it went along the lines of this. Mother-in-law, I don't understand why. Me, explains stance. Mother-in-law, but we don't believe in divorce, so you have to reconcile. Me, if he decides not to have kids we can stay together. Mother-in-law, but I want grandkids. Me, then we have to divorce, so he can do that with someone else. Mother-in-law, but I want him to have them with you. You will have to change your mind. Me, that's not happening. Mother-in-law, you can't deny God's plan. I'm an atheist, I can do whatever the duck I want. I'm praying that you will see the light soon and fix this. Me, okay, we will see. I get that it's hard for her, but I hate that the only solution to this is me giving up my whole life and giving into their demands of having babies. Especially since he doesn't even like being around babies and kids. She will be happy when he has kids, and he will be calling to say I was right. And I'll be well off and taking vacations whenever I want. This happened yesterday, and I'm still fuming. My friend, married with 2 kids, moved into a house in a guarded community about 2 years ago. I'm the godmother of her daughter and visit them frequently. I love her place and the whole community, and when she mentioned that her neighbors are selling their home, I got in contact with them immediately. This was in February. I've been looking into buying a house for quite some time now, as I work from home, no MLM. I was looking for a larger space to set up a proper office and maybe even a room where I can do woodworking and other stuff that makes a lot of dirt. And that place was perfect. Last house on the land, so only one neighbor, my friend, close to the city, mountains, and forests nearby for long walks with the pup, and a garden to finally start growing exciting things like herbs, potatoes and lettuce. After talking to the owner, who knew me from visits, I had to get in touch with the other homeowners because they needed to approve the new owner. Whatever, I thought. I had met most of them before and got along with all of them. I got invited to a brunch thing and even brought my secret recipe chocolate chip cookies. It was a lovely Sunday and all went well, or so I thought. Yesterday my friend called to tell me that they didn't want me there because, and I'm still raging, they don't want a partying, wild single girl, I'm in my mid-30s, in their neighborhood, and are scared that I'd bring in dangerous people like pedophiles. They believe something's really wrong with me, otherwise I would clearly be married with kids, and they don't want their community to become a ghetto for junkies. Mind you, I haven't been to a party in over a decade and my Friday nights are usually spent with reading books and a bottle of wine. My friend and her husband tried to reason with them, but to no avail. And to top it all off, the woman who was the most vocal about me being a danger to the peace of the community had the audacity to call me and ask for the recipe of my cookies. And I might have told her the secret ingredient was a quiet house and a sprinkle of cocaine. But after being in quarantine for almost 2 months I couldn't get myself to be fake nice. Edit. To clear a few things up, this wasn't a hoa, not sure if those even exist in my country, but the owners had decided at one point that they'd vote on new owners/renters together. I'm pretty sure if I'd send in a higher offer, the owner would sell it to me anyway, but after all that I'm so not moving there. There was also no broker/realtor involved in the process. I'm also not taking any legal action, mostly for the sake of my friend who I love dearly. Also, I'm pretty certain any lawyer would laugh into my face and then charge me for that. It's a shitty thing to have happened, but well, now I know that these kinds of communities aren't for me and I'll be looking elsewhere, which probably will be way cheaper and with hopefully less noisy children and nosy neighbors. I'm 36 male, She's 32, female, been together 14 years, married 10. We've always been child free. She's always been a lot more vocal about it than me too, in local child free groups, sharing memes about it on her social media, and generally ranting about how she hates parents and never wanting kids. I'm quite chill about it normally, but equally as confirmed as never wanting kids. Basically, as the title said, we went on a break and we were allowed to sleep with other people. Well, she did. Pill was affected and got knocked up. When we come back together, she found she was pregnant and decided she wanted to keep it. She won't hear me out about why an abortion a good idea and definitely isn't looking to adoption either. Now, we always had an agreement that if we had an accident, she'd have an abortion. Not ideal, but I've asked for a vasectomy multiple times and been refused it by my GP. You guessed it, because I don't have kids and am too young to make that decision. So I'm absolutely devastated. We're in talks constantly, and we are at the stage where we've realized we won't be able to stay together, and divorce is kind of inevitable. I feel so angry. I feel sad. I feel confused. I feel betrayed. I feel hurt. Not just for me, but for her too. As much as she is making this decision, I'm distraught at what this is going to do to her. She worked hard for her degree, for her career. She's worked hard to keep her body perfect and toned. She's going to go off on maternity and likely never get to where she is now again. She's going to gain weight, stretch marks, and probably won't ever get her hard worked figure back. But you know what pisses off the most? People are on her side. It's all her choice. I have to like it. Hell, people even tried to tell me I could stay and love this brat. That the bond for this thing is stronger than our long marriage, and I'm a typical dumb man for not getting it. This year sucks. I'm sorry, but I'm very mad at the entitlement of this parent. These parents like 13 years ago had a child. He's rather autistic. So instead of raising him, they just didn't. They don't use no around him, and they bargain for everything. He's spoiled now, because the answer is never no. He's big and has been taught by his parents that being violent and loud are how you get your way. So instead of raising him, they told the government he's disabled, and now the government sends an aide into their home to control him. You might wonder how I met him. I'm his teacher. His team loves me because I tell him no and don't allow violent behavior to get him what he wants. Anyhow, with the stay-at-home order, his aide team has been still going into the home to coach him. His main aide is panicked because this is a violation of the stay-at-home order and unable to work because of anxiety. I totally get that. Mom told me that he just doesn't want to work. He's lazy. He is not. You are asking him to risk his life. Well, so with this child, they apparently decided they want more children, and he has 6-year-old and 4-year-old siblings. Like, why? They can't control those kids either. Mom sent me another email telling me she can't get him to our remote classroom again because I'm alone here, so no help again. Jesus, you made them, refused to raise them, and when the world goes to shit still won't do your fucking part. Edit. Yes, ladies and gentlemen and all the other lovely people, she is a horrible and caring parent. Sorry, breeder. She sucks. I agree, but the only thing I was able to do was say no. Now I can't even do that. I've kicked him out of so many Zoom chats it isn't even funny. 70% of the time he doesn't even show up. It sucks. But here we are. BTW when I say no, and he got violent in class. His aides were awesome in getting him removed, except the one time I took all the kids elsewhere. So, I was on the fence for a while. To make matters worse, I was diagnosed with PCOS and told that it would be difficult to have children and blah blah blah. This quarantine has given me time to really think through my deep wants and hopes, and dreams have made me realize that I love my life how it is child free. There is so much I want to do. Travel, spend my money on whatever I want, go to Walmart at midnight, things that PPL with kids cannot. Lol. Anyways, we went to see my in-laws earlier this week and my Mill is going on and on about how she wishes we would have a kid already. I don't say much because my husband tells me to just let her talk, but then she says that she will talk to my Phil to see if he will give us a living inheritance to go through IVF and give her a grandchild. I speechless. Like what? I get that you want us to have a kid, whatever, but you want one so bad that you're willing to pay for it? You already have 5. I'd rather take my inheritance and buy a boat. Thank you very much. I've trained a handful of new people at my job and all but one of them have been extremely disrespectful about me being child free. This last one takes the cake. It takes multiple weeks of hands-on training for me to teach people this job. In the process of doing so, I always get the "do you have kids?" question in the first few days. And guys, these people just don't understand that no is a valid answer. I have no issue talking to coworkers about their kids. I even like hearing stories about some of them. I just want my stance to be, not a debate topic for random people I just met. This last trainee has insisted on several occasions now that it will happen, your boyfriend will be excited, you'll have a swole up belly. It got on my nerves so bad that I told some supervisors that it's hard for me to train because people are incredibly rude to me about my not having kids. I asked that they consider giving me a long period after this trainee before I get another one for this reason. They seemed shocked. I already hide my religious beliefs at work, atheist, which is easier to do because I can just say that I believe faith is a private thing between a person and their god or gods and has nothing to do with work. But I can't think of a way to avoid the uphill battle against people who insist I must and will have kids. I get angry about it too fast to be clever at all.